Okay, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Coffee and Art in the Morning. I'm Dee Dee, and we've been having a little pre-chat, and so now to hit record and get crack-a-lackin'. Where's my whip app? So I wanted to show first that I did cut the paper off of the cover here of my mixed media journal part two, or this is the second journal that I've done in one of these. And I used some of my Artie Dar, handmade Artie Dar paper to cover the cover. And then I also painted this envelope here. Oh, well, let me just start by saying I've already said hi to everybody here, so I won't do that again. But this is a live chat with a live Ustream. And so if you're watching the recording, I'm talking to live people. Sorry, I love saying that. And yeah, so thanks everybody for being here. And okay, drive by. So anyway, this handmade paper by Artie Dar actually is the exact same color as that. You may not be able to tell it on camera, and that's so weird. This teal is the same color as that. But I painted my little envelope here red and teal because this was the binding, the seam binding was red, and I used Artie Dar's handmade paper. So we might flip through this again here shortly. The other thing we talked about was if you're interested, if you're in the Ustream group and you want to participate in our first pocket letter swap, Janet is the one to talk to. So you really have to be here in part of the Ustream group to be a part of the swaps, because we have to know who you are. Just saying. So anyway, and then so the other thing that we were talking about, one of the girls asked a question about what to use to sketch with if you're going to use neocolors. Now, when I sketch just personally, not on camera, I just use. Let me move a couple of things out of my way here. And Neocolor 2s, by the way, if y'all don't know what they are, they're water soluble crayons. You have to get Neocolor 2. Neocolor 1 is not water soluble. So if you want the watercolor type of crayon, you need to get Neocolor 2. Let me show you what the box looks like in case you want to see the brand and all that. And it's Neocolor, see right there, the 2. Make sure you get that if you want the water soluble type. Uh, so when I'm drawing just by myself with nobody here, I mean not on camera where it has to show, I just use a number 2. This is just a disposable paper mate number 2 twistable. Once the lead's gone, it's gone. You don't have to use a disposable one. Obviously, you can get the kind that you refill. But I just use something like this to sketch with. If I know I'm going to want to add washes to it and then ink or, more pen work or whatever, I just use that. But on camera, for it to show up, I have to use something much thicker and darker. So I usually use my, hang on, let me see if I can dig it out here. If I have it in this, here we go, is it's usually a general. This one's a general. The general woodless graphite, and this one's a 6B. You can get them in different darknesses of lead, softnesses of lead. The softer the lead, the darker it'll look or be. This is what I'll use on camera so that it shows up. But it will bleed into your neocolors, Z. So this is not the best thing to use unless you're going to spray it with a fixative, which I've been doing on my animal book, that's the next thing I'm going to pull over here to show you. In my Big Mama Jama, this is the book that this came on, and I use this for my camera focus. The camera loves these big black letters like that. It just really helps my camera focus. And this is what came on this. This is the very big sketchbook, and it's like 600 pages, and it's like 2 inches thick, and it weighs like, I don't know, 10 pounds. No, not quite, but I mean, it's heavy. And I'm using this for all my animal sketches, and y'all see me do this on camera. Okay. Oh, yes, that's what I sketch first, and then switch over to the number 2. Yeah. So, okay, good. I'm glad that helped. But yeah, this, if you're going to use anything that's going to pick up all that graphite, you need to spray it first. Or what I do is I'll, like, before I start adding a whole bunch of uh, extra media, extra water, or even acrylic, is I will erase some of the excess graphite, especially if I haven't sprayed it. Hey, CB. Anybody else popping in? Thanks everybody for being here. So this is where we've just drawn, and I say we because a lot of these things I do on camera, and I do use a wax paper little thing here to prop up the book because it's it's so thick. So I'm just draw, and if you're watching the Carol's 2 kids watching along with us, here's some animals that we've drawn here. And like, this is Neil color washes, but this was sprayed with the fixative before I started adding water soluble medium. It's not as important if you're using acrylic to get rid of, spray it with a fixative. But if I'm just drawing by myself without a camera that has to show up, I just use a nice little thin number 2 pencil, because then it's not going to smear when you add the water soluble stuff to it. So this is the book that we're still playing in. And I say this, when I say we, it's because I do a lot of the stuff on camera and y'all are here, so it's like we. But it's to play with different ideas, little different sketches of animals that you see online that you just want to play with and draw, and to work out ideas, because y'all know I do the big fantasy posters, animal posters. And so these are like my sketches for those big fantasy animal posters, which I need to do another one. I try to do one pretty periodically, but I've been doing portraits lately. So I've kind of got off doing the fantasy animals. So I need to kind of get back. I go back and forth between whatever really I need to have get done. So you can see here, for an example of what it is to have a sketchbook. These are not to be necessarily finished, although this frog is probably the most finished one that I have in this book. They're not made to be finished drawings. They're made to be a working sketchbook to work out different ideas for other paintings and other projects. Thanks, AJ. So, like, for instance, this elephant, the I'm sure the plant got its name elephant leaf. Elephant leaf. I'm not sure exactly the name of the plant, but it has ear. Elephant ear. Anyway, it has elephant ear in it. So I thought it would be fun to do an elephant with actual elephant ear plant ears. So I made some little notes and kind of just colored one ear green to, like, kind of remind me. If you are young people watching, if you're young people watching and you are interested in art, you need to write down and sketch out your ideas. You don't necessarily have to draw everything out. I could have just wrote, use an elephant with elephant ear plant as ears. I could have written that out. And got this, and reminded myself of that idea. So you don't necessarily have to even be able to draw well at first to do, but I'm big on practicing, just saying. But you can at least write down your ideas so you don't forget them, because you're going to have way many more ideas than you ever will time to do them all. There's a little angry possum. Here's some prairie dogs. And again, here's what they look like on a hill. Here's what one looks like close up. This isn't meant to be a finished painting, drawing, not even an art journal page. This is a sketchbook. Just sketch out your ideas. Write out your ideas. Okay, there's a crow. Here's some penguins that, and I think it was Sunset Carol. Yeah, Sunset Carol said that they're going to the 50s diner job interview. So I had done these little penguins like this, and then Sunset Carol said they look like they're going to a 50s diner job interview. So I wrote that down. That's a great little idea. If I did a poster of some penguins dressed like this, a 50s diner behind it would be perfect. And I gave Sunset Carol the credit, of course. If y'all tell me something, I try to write it down, at least put it in the wingnut book. Put it in the wingnut book. Okay, and again, if y'all have any questions or comments to me, put them in caps so I know that y'all talk to me. The chat just really rolls by. Okay, so here I thought about doing a seahorse, but doing it in steampunk with like a plate, like metal plates, on his back. And then also I like things that are can have double meaning, like scales and scales. So I put those things together like that. There's some lionfish. And again, this is a little bit more complete, but it's not a finished piece. There are my sketches with some washes on them. Here's my notes down here. I made myself a note to put this lionfish in the sky. He's in the sky rather than in the water. So things like that. So I'll make notes of those kind of things. Here's a raccoon and a close-up of a raccoon's eye right next to it. We want to do a camel. I've already done a hump day, Wednesday camel poster. And so this is just going to be another little something, maybe a mustache on them. I don't know. We just play around here. Okay, this one was, I will show this one because this is a perfect example of taking something and turning it into the poster. Let's see here. Where is it? Here. And you won't be able to see, I'll have to turn it sideways to show it under the camera. But here was a little, kind of like a little peace sloth. He's a peaceful sloth, like a hippie sloth. Anyway, so here was the sketch. And this is what we turned it into. It looks really nothing like the finished piece, but this was the idea. So you can see that you can sketch out your ideas and use them for future references. Okay, so I'll kind of have to turn it sideways. So there's his little sloth toes. He's got embroidery on his jeans. I use my own hand as a reference. I just help this hand. I held up my hand to draw from, and then there's again some more little sloth, three-toed sloth. Thanks, Lindsay. And so what I'm showing you, though, is this was the reference for this. The next one I want to do similar to this is Cleopatra. And Sandra suggested the scarab necklace. And although it's funny that Eileen and I both had watches when we were young that were like these little beetles that you'd pinch their little wing things and then the wings would open and there was a watch inside. But anyway, so I want to do a Cleopatra fox and an ibis collar here. And then lots of Egyptian type things. Like this is one of those, I don't know what those kind of symbol things that look kind of like that on their heads. Anyway, so that's the next kind of poster that I thought would be fun to do. Thanks, Kat. That was fun, wasn't it? And again, so this is just a working sketch to use to do that sort of thing. Same, here's a little chipmunk. He's on a little scale. Here's a little squirrel on a skateboard with his iPod. Professor Hedgie, the hedgehog. A little beaver with his braces. A couple different monkeys. An alligator with her alligator purse. And her stegosaurus. um, some stegosaurus spines on her back. Here's some crab studies, and these are actually the color of the crab in the sienna, ochre, and Payne's gray. So we, did some little color play sketching there. Another one here with her shoes, shell, her shell shoes, and her shell bag. A peacock with pin nibs for feathers. And then this is just a little lion, played with some color with the lion, and then the little snow fox. I finished it and turned it into a little baby snow fox. There's a little mouse playing a piano. Seal in space. And I'm blaming that on Carrie, including the voice of singing. So anyway, you can see that this is like just to play, to sketch out some animals. And like I said, I do them a lot darker here on camera and then spray them with the fixative so I can play on top of them and work on top of them. Otherwise, I couldn't really add Neocolor washes to it without the graphite really smearing in, even though the graphite it's not water soluble, but because of the darkness and thickness of the graphite that I use, well, here it is. it will smear real easy. I mean, look at that. See? Well, maybe you can't see it that far away, but it smears very easily, even though it's not water soluble. Okay, so that's the animal sketchbook that we play in. I have that going on. We have the idea notebook going on. I'm constantly doing. I already have 10 more portraits in line to do. This was the last one I did, my Sean Connery one, and he's on Twitter, and I did put him on Pinterest and where else? Facebook. And so I do that, and then here's the other thing that we did last week. I'm just catching everybody up and trying to figure out what we want to do today. I know, me too, Carrie, me too. So a couple other I don't want to call them, if you want to call them journal, sketchbook, workbooks that I have going on, other than those two things, this is my newest mixed media journal. And I still have this one to show too. I got this. Okay, I got my Hobonichi. Okay, I got lots of things going on. All right, so this is my last Diane Reevely journal that I've had for a couple of years, and it's got a lot of darker colors, more mysterious themes, kind of thing. And if you see a gloss, it's because I varnished all these pages, the ones that I finished. And this one I did a lot of darker work, both, and I don't mean dark in the sense of bad, I mean dark in the sense of more mysterious and more dark coloring. And so the one I want to do in the new one is more brighter colors. So let me set this one over here so I don't trip over it when I get up. So this is the one we're working in now, and it's got more brighter colors to it. I did put a piece of the Artie Dar handmade paper right there on the cover and painted the little envelope that comes inside. So you can see that the spine on this side is not attached to the spine here, and that helps it to lay flat like when you're working in it. So far what we've done in this is smack and drag ink on all the pages. We did that, I think, a week ago Sunday afternoon. And then I did some collaging and some stenciling. And we did start, like here, I hear Carrie like, here, fishy, fishy, fishy. We did start painting a few little things in it, but I've also gone back, and now this has to be blended in. I just like those fish like coming around like this and maybe having water. I'm not sure yet, but so their torn edges are not blended in. But I knew I wanted them there, so I went ahead and matte medium. I used golden matte medium for my art journals to glue anything down. Well, yes, CB, I do have to say I do get things done, but I will qualify it with saying my kids are grown and gone. I can stay in my, sit here at my art table for 8 to 10 hours a day, and I get stuff done because that's what I do. That and share on stream with you guys. Hey, Julie, I know her last name's not Topaz. And then we did this one on stream. He started out as a normal Chug the Pug, and we turned him into a biker. And this one's recorded too. We put spikes on his collar. We gave him a tattoo and put a bone in his ear. So you might see a few changes. Oh, we also did this little scenery here. I showed you how to take just a little piece of like a calendar page or a little bit of a landscape. So this right here is the landscape. Well, not even this part here, actually like this much of it is, well, it's all been painted over. And then to take a little piece of a landscape and then turn it into your own full landscape all the way across. So that's what we did here. We had a little piece of a little house with some trees on a hill, and then we turned it into all these mountains and meadows and clouds. And I don't know what I'm going to do up here yet, but we did this. This is also on one of the streams. Did you say vet? I don't think I said vet. Do we need to take him to the vet? Miss that, Lindsay. So you can see we've added a few. I've added a few other additional things to this journal, this brighter mixed media journal. I'll just do a quick flip here. And there's a couple things sticking because when I matte medium this on, some of the matte medium got on the spine, I mean on the pages there, but it's not going to hurt anything. So just kind of see where we're going with some of these pages. They just make me happy to see these bright colors. And oh, here we go. I don't know where JJ's not here. She's probably at work, but I'm going to add, I did find two clownfish that I'm going to incorporate. This one on this page and another on a different page. So this will just be a journal. Oh, I added this hand holding a watch. What else have I added in here? There's the other clownfish. So, and you can't tell now, but it'll all be blended in with whatever else we add on the page. So this is just kind of fun play. Oh, here's some more fish. Added some more fish here, Carrie. So you can kind of see, doing a quick flip. I think there's something like 65 pages in this book. 65 one side, so double that if you want to count 1 and 2. And I added some of that leftover fish pieces because they matched perfectly with these cabbages. So I don't know where it's going, but just because of the color alone, I threw those on there. Well, I always like to add, when I'm doing collage, mixed media, and I'm trying to tell some kind of a story, I like to have a person, place, and thing. To me, if you start out with a person, place, and thing, you've got a start of a story. And by person, a fish could be a person. A bird can be a person. I just mean something, and some kind of living thing to like be the focal point. A person could be a fish, a bird, an animal, whatever. And a place, you have some sort of a setting and some things, at least one thing. And I like to always try to at least add a watch or something to do with time, but that's not always the only thing. But if you have those three nouns in there, you'll have a start of a story, I found, anyway. I mean, you can get more and more complicated. I mean, here's like I keep a couple samples right here of some of my art cards. Here's 3. So these have stories behind them. These are little 4x6 postcard art cards. So they all have a person, place, and a thing in them. Just so you kind of see what I'm talking about. You know what I mean, Vern? Uh, well, good. It's good to have you, Kat. Um, Carrie, or if you'll put in my email address, Kat, if you want to exchange addresses, and if you want, you don't feel any pressure to it, but if you want to, like be on my mailing list, I send out, gifts and racks, and we have a birthday exchange where I send out birthday cards, and you're more than welcome, anybody here, to send me birthday cards to share with the group. I think I'm running out. By the way, Gilly comes in. Today's her birthday. And yeah, let me go ahead and tell you this week's and the birthdays this month. So this I'll tell you week by week anyway. I won't give you exact dates. And if you exchange addresses with me, I do not share your address with anybody, not even in the group. So if you give me your address, it doesn't go any farther than me as far as I'm concerned. Okay, so March, we have this week, we have Gilly, Nikki, Steampunk Nikki, Phoebe, and Sister Woman Jonna. That's this week, the last week of March. And I tried to just tell y'all. And so anyway, if y'all send me handmade birthday cards or any kind of art cards you want to share, I turn around and send those out to the different ones in our group for their birthdays. Yeah, that's another thing, guys. The chat has a 30-second lag or so, sometimes more. And so by the time I see your question, it's like 30-second delay. Okay. All right. So those are the birthdays to this week. And okay, yeah, go ahead and grab my email from I think Carrie's here. Yeah, there she is. Yes, we do love newbies. And then when I was cleaning out the paper, rabbit trail, I found this. Happy birthday. I don't think there's no clowns on there, Carrie. Circus type looking stickers. So, yeah, they're all these. I think I got this at Michael's in the dollar bin. So I'm going to start, since I just found it, you won't have it on there until like April birthdays, but I'm going to start using these for the birthday, sticking some stickers on there. And I also, I try to, throw in a cup file or something in your envelope and things like that. So, okay. So, yeah, just email me. Email me. So here's the rest of this real quick. So this is one of the other books that I'm working in. I say we because I usually do most of this kind of stuff. These kind of projects I usually do on streams so that y'all can see them getting done, or I'll at least tell you what I've done in the meantime, like add some stencils or throw on a bird, put a bird on it. So that's my brighter. This is my brighter journal that I'm working in. The other thing that I had just shown you here, this is my Fobonichi. I'm not a date keeper. I don't keep up with. I've tried. I've talked about that. I won't get into that right now. But I've tried to be one of those person that writes down everything they do and eat and go and say and talk to, and I can't do it. And don't get me wrong, if you're one of those people that like to do that, great. If you draw down everything you do every day, more power to you. I just am not one of those kind of people. My brain just doesn't wrap itself around that type of thing. But I do have a Fobonichi for a couple purposes. One, I made all my own little calendar. I hand did this back in December or first week of January. And this is for my birthdays. This is where I write down all the group's birthdays month by month. That's all this is. Birthdays and like anniversaries and a couple of, family members' birthdays, that kind of thing. But it's mostly for the birthdays here. The other thing that I'm doing in this is I have a couple little pages that I just pretty like the little things. Little things that just make me happy. I just like a place to glue those in. For instance, this little girl here from the Big Eye Girl It was an advertisement for the movie and about the woman artist that developed her. And I just like that picture. And so I put it in here. So I will put different little things. I like sock monkeys. So I had a bunch of sock monkey stickers, those kind of things. Oh, and somebody asked me about Happy Mail, how I store that yesterday. And I did not get to the answer of that question because we ran out of time. So I'll talk about that too if y'all want. It's rabbit trailing here all the time. And so what I do is I just put in a few little things here and there that I like. So and then I make a pocket for each month too. But it's not the kind of hobo that I write down or draw down everything I do. For one thing, I just don't have the time for that. But again, if you're one that's how you get your creativity out and going and that makes you happy, then, go for it. The other thing I do is I write down the days I stream. And so kind of like that. And I just have a little post-it note in there to mark where I'm at, that sort of thing. But that's about as much record keeping as I do. But I like having it to throw little fun things in, just little stickers or little cute little things. This is my little cute collection. Yes, it is graph paper. And this is one of those, it's called Miquelrius. You get them at, believe it or not, they're only like $10 at Barnes and Noble. You probably can get them on Amazon. But I think this was like $9.99. And I've had these before for other things. I like the graph paper. Used this kind of books for calligraphy, for lettering, and that kind of thing. So I have some of these for other purposes that I really just don't use. I have them to, for reference, but I'm not really like, they're not in use. This is the one that I'm using now. But again, it's MIQ. I'd hold it up the camera, but it's so tiny. Miquelrius. And I'm not saying that's the only brand. I don't even know what the other brands are that I have. But it's soft. I mean, the soft cover. They're nice. It's a faux leather for your faux Benici. So, yeah, they would be good for tangles. Dana said tangles. Hi, Eugene. It would be good for and pet pamper, Eugene. Yeah, I like saying pet pamper, but yeah, Eugene. Um, and anybody else? Yeah, it might be Miguel. No, it's not an I in there. No, that's not it, Carrie. It's Miquelrius. McQuelleris? I don't even try. So anyway, yeah, there's my faux Hobonichi. Um, and some cool little birthday stickers. Let's see, what else am I Oh, I was going to talk about how I store my Happy Mail. All right, let me show you my last notebook here before our sketchbook. Well, it's really not even my last one. I have big sketchbooks for different purposes depending on what I'm doing. I have books for everything. But these kind of sketchbooks, let me get over here to my portfolios. I have these kind of sketchbooks too. These big ones, hardcover, and they're good for different purposes, especially when we do things on camera. Like here we did a day of cute dogs. We did a day of cute cats. So these kind of sketchbooks like this are fun for, doing bigger projects and, or if I just want to sketch something a little bit bigger in a book. Although I have tons of loose paper that, I could do that kind of sketching on too. Um, and I got all kinds of portfolios for the loose drawings. So anyway, so this is the other notebook that I have, and this is a cool book. These come in all kinds of colors. I think they're about $22 on Amazon. And of course, it's going to depend on if you have a shipping prime or something else. It might be a couple dollars more. This is soft cover. It's just a paperback, but it's called Freestyle Really Big Notebook. And these come, if you look this up on Amazon, um, let me put a note here because I'm trying on my YouTubes um, to put links to things. For those of y'all that were here yesterday, I put Paula's, Kathy's, Patty, Tolly Parish, iStencils, Amazon, something else. I put like 6 links yesterday on my video. So I'm trying to link as many things as possible. Yeah, those red ones, yes, the red faux Bonici, they're like $10 at Barnes and Noble. Yeah. Okay, so this one I'm going to try to, it's an Amazon link because I got it on Amazon, an Amazon link, although they do have a company for the freestyle. I want to make sure and put a note for that in my comments. Okay, so this is so cool. I would, if I just had an extra few $100s, I would get one of these in every color. But they're called different things. They have different versions. They have a writer's one. They have, I don't even remember right now. It's been a while since I got it. But it's called Freestyle Really Big Notebook. What I like about it is in the beginning they have a table of contents. It has, how many pages does it have? 600, 700, how many pages? 800, let's see. I forget how many pages it has. It has 800 pages. So, and they're numbered. It's a blank journal with decent size, kind of, it feels kind of like copy, like printer paper, your copy paper. It's about that thickness. But every page is numbered. Now, granted, it's very tiny. The numbers are very tiny, but they're numbered 1 through 800. And you have a table of contents that's about 10 pages long where you can index every subject that you put in here, whether it be a drawing, writing, note taking, a combination of both. But it's just an awesome book because I love my thick books. And this one's, at least carryable, unlike the very big sketchbook, which weighs a ton. This only weighs maybe a couple pounds. So what I like about it, other than it's, the paper's decent, is the index and the numbered pages. Now, I have to say, I've started this for 2 different purposes. I tore some pages out and started over because I said, no, I don't want to use this book for that purpose. I have other books for that purpose. So I kind of went back and forth with what I really wanted to do with this. And I decided I want this to be my pen and ink drawing book. So I've glued a couple things into. I could, maybe a little bit of gluage, but you can't glue too much in these kind of books. They'll get thick real fast if you start gluing things. And I don't really want to. I don't want to paint in this. I might add a wash of color or something like that. But I don't want this to get too bulky. So I don't really have a designated drawing with my pen a la Danny Gregory type of thing. And speaking of, let me go ahead and get his books out to show. And I will put a link for Danny Gregory books. So, and I've not been able to find his new one, but for whatever reason, Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Books A Million, all have it as out of print. Well, maybe not Amazon. I think Amazon just says out of stock. But for whatever reason, I gotta quit saying but but. So if y'all are not familiar with Danny Gregory, he's the one that started what's called the Creative License, and he draws all his everyday things. Now I have to be a little careful. He has a couple of nude things in there, and Ustream does not like anything nude, but he draws everything in his house. There's a negative space chair. I shouldn't say just in his house. He draws everything from his life, and he draws it all in pen. He just thinks that will help you to concentrate on drawing what you see, not worrying about mistakes, not worrying about erasing. Nothing wrong with that. And if you're a pencil person, I am a pencil person too. I like all of it. So don't email me. But so everything that he draws in ink. So I didn't really have a a book that's just for drawing in ink. No pencil, just ink. So I designated this, let me write down Danny Gregory link, because I'll forget. I will forget to put links for things uh, in my show notes. Hey Sherry. All right, so let me just kind of glance here at chat and see what's going on. And I'm not really a fashion person, although I love the art of fashion. I have a couple, and I showed one, but I'll show a couple others here. Um, I'm stepping around all my bins of paper in my room that I'm sorting. I do like I like the history of fashion. I like the art of fashion, but I'm not a fashion person as far as me. I just, give me some black to wear and I'm good. I don't, I'm not a jewelry person. I'm not I'm just not. And nothing wrong if you are. Don't email me. We all have our different interests and, different things that we like. So that's all good. It's all good. But anyway, there's one. Let me get the other one, the new one. So here's another little idea, like we don't have enough, but at least write the idea down. At least write these ideas down, even if you don't use them immediately. So this is the newest fashion book that I got, and I've got post-it notes in there, like to remind me to tell somebody something about a certain something something. Um, this book I got is called Illustration Now Fashion, and Paula apparently found volume 2 of this. And she got it for dirt cheap, like I got this one for pretty, I think it's pretty cheap. I don't know what the normal price is. It's marked down to 30 and then marked down to 15. So I got this a couple weeks ago, and it's kind of like a fashion history of different artists. They're all different artists and how they draw fashion. So it's just, I like it for the art of it, the color, the art, and all that. And it features 90 contemporary fashion illustrators. So when Paula shows hers, I'm anxious to see what her volume 2 looks like, which I've not seen. So yeah, so there's that. But what I'm saying is I love the art and the color and the line and all that. I like Project Runway. I like all that stuff for the art. And so these kind of books, like this one here, The Fashionable Selby, is another one that I got. I got this one actually a year ago for my birthday with my birthday Barnes and Noble money. And I paid full price for this. I paid $35 for this one. It took a lot for me to pay full price for it, but I did. And showing. Okay, so Paula said that this one was $59.99 in the store. And yeah, I don't doubt it. I always Books a Million. I look for those red stickers. Y'all saw those $5 big coffee table books I got and all that. I look for them. And a lot of times, if they're like this is not a cut 'em up book. But sometimes I buy those $5 books to cut up and use and collage and mixed media and stuff. Much to the chagrin of the bookstore managers when they find out. I asked them, I said, well, what are you going to do with those clearance books if you don't sell them? They're going to end up in a landfill or a thrift store or what, or just getting trashed. So, hey, I'm reusing them, I'm recycling them, repurposing them. So, Paula just said that this was $59.99 in the store. So, okay. So, the other one that I got that I love, fashion, art wise, is this one. And it's another one with all kinds of different fashion designers. And many of them are in Italian, French, Japanese, and they're journal pages. So I love this for that purpose. And what's cool about it is if it is in like Japanese or another Italian or a different language, they have a page reference so you can go to the back and it's got the it's got the interpretation. So if it's in another language, you can read it here in English. I thought that was kind of cool. But I like this because of the art, the color, the combinations, the creativity, the artists themselves, and I do believe they are artists. Their medium is just as fashion. but it shows all their sketchbooks. Yes, it's very inspiring pictures in this book. And apparently, maybe I think there's more than one of these. This is the only one I've ever seen. And it just talks about the different designers, whether they be jackets, shoes, coats, dresses, scarves, hats, hair pieces. And see, it shows their working studios or the shops, that they own and sell from. So this, I love just reading about these kind of things, different artists. I just love promoting other artists and talking about other artists and their work. And I just love it all. And so this book is another one. Oh, sorry, guys. I don't want to knock my camera over here. Hang on. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Let me put another piece of tape on there. Y'all saw my setup. That camera's leaning into the wind so that you don't have to see tripod legs. That's why I have it leaning. So anyway, I said all this fashion-wise to say, and pen and ink Danny Gregory just say that's I'm doing a combination of those two ideas in my freestyle really big notebook. So another thing, I don't buy a lot of fashion magazines. I seem to, because it's not so much the clothes that I'm interested in. And that's pretty much what fashion magazines, although I do like certain art layouts and things like that. But I just don't buy a bunch of fashion magazines. I just, because it's not my main focal interest in art. But I do buy them occasionally so that I can use them in stuff like I'm getting ready to show you. Bye, Barb. And that is just to do some pen and ink and doodly, sketchy, whatever. And so I've shown y'all my face journal before. It's my big, thick journal where I just draw 5-second faces. Well, that's kind of what these are. They're kind of like the little 5-second faces, but I'm adding different elements to it. I'll glue in a face here every now and then. That always helps you to keep things in perspective because faces are smaller than people think. Although there's nothing wrong with whimsy and all that stuff. Hang on. Hey, I'm streaming something up. Okay. Oh, well, Denise wanted to send a card. So if you, well, I guess that would be to him, not to there. Okay. Thanks, honey. Bye. Okay. So faces are much smaller in real life than you think they are. And just to help me, like I did a couple of quick sketches, just like I don't do a lot of gesture drawing and um, out in public kind of sketching because I just don't get out that much. Probably not near as much as I should. So you sometimes you forget some of the exact, how the proportions work and everything. And I was surprised at how big I drew certain faces compared to the body. Faces are, I other than fashion, let me clarify that. In fashion, things can when they draw fashion, they're going to do different things to reproportion a body, elongate it. You'll have weird, proportions and stuff like that. But in real life, most bodies you can do the 7.5 head thing. One, two, three, four, five, six, 7.5 is about the size of a body. Um, like there's the head, and then you'll have that's how tall. That's just an average. Of course, you're gonna have short people, tall people, old people, young children. That's just a general, just so you can kind of keep things in mind when you're drawing a body. Okay, but it's not every person is not going to be that. And I don't mean, and again, I'm not meaning width. I'm just meaning how tall it is. Okay, question. I know this says, do you have your 5-second faces journal handy to show us? Yeah, I can get it off the shelf somewhere. But I gotta say, everybody's seen it about a zillion times. I could probably just show you a quick five. I could maybe, if you want to see it, if y'all want to see it again, I'll pull it off the shelf. But I pretty much have shown it 1,000 times. Maybe that one I'm not exaggerating. I probably have shown it a lot. So anyway, what I'm doing in this journal is just quick. lines and then playing with a little bit like the cuffs and the cuffs of these boots, and this right here is all taken off of one shirt that had like almost like a Napoleonic type buttons and flair to it, and I cut that shirt apart and turned it into cuffs, a collar, and some boot toppers, and the rest is just drawn and a little bit of quick scribble of color. You could even use crayons for that. Oh, you haven't seen it? Okay, Stonetta. So this is going to be, and not just fashion. This will be other pen and ink things too. But this is just going to be for me to do with, a Sharpie marker and a Sharpie pen. Where's my Sharpie? Now, granted, if you use a Sharpie marker in this book, it will bleed through. This right there is the bleed through from the other side. But it doesn't really bother me. This is not made for me to make something out of. This is just for me to practice line and shapes and some ink work. So that's what this is. So some I've added a face and drawn everything else. This one I've drawn it and just added the sleeve and but my point of is not just cutting some Vogue faces out here to show you, you can just add a little face to some of them, but to draw these. Get your pen, if you really want to just try this, get a pen out and try to draw these girls. And I mean, I like drawing old men. I like drawing everything, all people, all ethnicities. I like drawing all of it. But if you just want to practice, you're just, playing with a pen. And you have to remember, you can't be worried if this isn't going to turn out. This is not a book for making sure everything turns out and it's perfect. That's not what this is about. It's about just playing, doodling and drawing and sketching. Here I drew a little spotlight on them. So again, that's just kind of what I plan on kind of playing in this book, is with pen and ink, and maybe slap in a couple of things to add a little bit of the idea of clothing. This was some kind of a feathery type design I think it was on a big sleeve, like this big or something, and to me it looked like ribs, so I glued it on her because it looked like ribs. So this is the kind of book that's what I want to use this book for, is that kind of pen and ink type play stuff. All right, any questions on that? Okay, the quick face draw. Let's see if I want to make sure I'm not backing myself up here into a corner. That was a truck backing up, not the theme from Psycho. All right, so let me pile up my books to put away here in a minute. Because they make a big pile and then I'm tripping over it when I get up to get the next thing. All right, let me put this poster back over here. All right, let me check chat here. Okay. Lindsay. All right, so there's that, and I have a thing to put around it somewhere here. I don't know where it is. I've got all my journals everywhere. All right, let me move these out of the way. So again, this is kind of turning into a hodgepodge of a show, which that's fine to me. As long as y'all are enjoying it, get some inspiration, write down some ideas and put them in your idea notebook. Okay, so my face journal, which is probably about I'd say probably 4 years ago I started this one. Let me see if I have a date in it. I try to date the book at least. I don't usually date every page. Yeah, okay, this is from 2011. So this book is from 2011, 4 years ago. And I'll tell you how I made it and all that. If y'all want to hear the story again. If y'all heard about this book and seen this book a whole bunch of times, just go run, get you some coffee. If you're watching the recording, just fast forward. All right. This book, I just call my quick face sketchbook. Facebook, and as not like Facebook, the Facebook on internet. This is my actual literally drawing faces. And this is, I made this to do like quick, very, very fast, and I mean like 10 seconds faces. Now we've gone back and added some things to some of those quick draw sketches, but that was the purpose that I put this together for. Now, this book, I love the cover of it. It's kind of like that Japanese rice paper type of cover, and it came with that very porous Japanese type rice paper. You can't really draw on it. It just soaks up the ink. I guess you could draw a pencil and it wouldn't, obviously wouldn't bleed. But it was not made for any kind of writing, ink, paint, anything like that. It could almost just be like for the when you see the Japanese mountains where they'll just put one line and it feathers and they make something out of it, something like that. But I got sucked into buying it one year, and I mean, and I probably bought it like maybe 15, maybe even before we lived in this house. It probably maybe closer to 20 years. I don't know how long ago I had bought the actual book, but it just sat on my shelf. I never, thanks, Eileen. I'd never used it because the paper was so porous, I never could really find anything to do with it. So what I did, okay, bye, see you later. So what I did was I took out the big block. I took out the block of paper and I made my own individual signatures and glued them to a spine. This is all just, it's pretty much glue. It's pretty much glue. And I'm not, I've said it before, I'm not a book binder. I don't sew. If I can rubber band it in, it's good. In this case, I glued. And some of the pages did get loose. It doesn't bother me. These books are for me. If a page flies out, I just put some washi tape on it and glue it back in, stick it back in. So what I did is Michael's had a sale on cheap watercolor paper. Those little pads, the 9 by 12, I guess, 9 by 12 pads with, I think they had 25 sheets of paper in them, maybe more. I don't remember. It's been back in 2011 when I made this. But they had like 10 pads for $5 or something like that, something ridiculous. So I got a big stack of them. I tore them all out of the pads and folded them in half. That's all. So whatever size this is what size folded in half was. Let's go to end to end. 12. So it was like 12 by 9 by 12 pieces of paper. 9 by 12 pieces of paper, watercolor paper. And I took them all out. Now I know this is probably going to sound excessive to some of you, but this is like when I get on a roll of doing something in specific, I just go for it. So I spent one whole day using leftover acrylic paints. Like y'all know when my acrylic paints get low, when these get low, like down to about here, you add water to them and make them into washes. And I spent a whole day washing with a brush and leftover paints all those pieces of paper. I did a whole bunch of yellow, orange, and they kind of started out in rainbow going, but then I just put them all together, and some of them are out of order. It didn't matter to me. I just wanted some color on all the watercolor. It's just cheap watercolor paper. I probably wouldn't even do a real watercolor on them. I don't know. I didn't buy them for that. I just bought them because they were cheap and I knew I could use them in some kind of a journal project. Okay, so there you got an ad. I know the ads pop up at the most inopportune times, don't they? They do for me too. I know you can get ad blockers and stuff like that. So thanks everybody for being here. Let me see who I might have missed. Hey, APG Jamie. And anybody else? I think I said hi to CB and some new carols. And hey, Deb, Harriet. I'm just scrolling through here. We got quite a few people today. Thanks everybody for being here. Minnie Schnauzer. I just love saying that. Sherry. Vicky, Sandra. Okay, I think I said hi everybody. We got like 50 people here today. Thanks everybody for being here. Okay, so Maybe Stonette is back now. She's the one that asked to see this and she had a commercial. So maybe she's back. Usually the commercials are like two 30-second ones. Sometimes it's a black screen. If y'all get a black screen when like on your second commercial, sometimes you'll see down at the bottom, your show will resume in 30 seconds. It's some for some reason the commercial didn't load, but you still get the black screen for so just sometimes if you just wait 30 seconds, it comes back on. It's not you, it's just the ad. All right. So okay, bye Deb. Good to see you. So I folded all I washed back and front with watered down acrylic paint and let them dry, folded them in half and made little signatures and I made my own thing to glue them to, whatever you call the fabric thing that you glue signatures to. And you'll see when you go through here that I've taped some, I've glued some, I just like the idea of this book with color paper. That was my inspiration. So what it is, now I've got a couple pages here. I have done a few little collagey things in here. I won't have my name there. I've done a few little collagey things like some old vintage papers Miss Rose sent me. I've glued in here. And so I've done a couple other little gluey things in here. But basically what I wanted it to be was all my faces. And believe it or not, these were all done like within 15 seconds and then gone back and added things to them. I'll do, I think there's probably enough space in here to draw a couple more. So they're just, and it's just whatever the face turns out to be. There's another couple of things from Miss Rose, vintage papers from Miss Rose. So here's what I'm talking about. You sit and you draw this real fast. Then you can go back and add, play with them and turn them into little people and little characters and things. Okay, so that's what this book is, other than a few little glue ins from other people. Here, look, paper got loose or I wanted to tip that in. I just taped it in. So it's a hodgepodge. But this is what I'm talking about. Where's my big pencil here? There it is. So I just would take, my woodless graphite, which is dark, thick, and, you can get a lot of mileage out of using these. And literally draw, let me, here, well, I won't do it on a plain white sheet. I'll do it on a piece where it has some color. And make faces. And then you go back and add different color and play with them. Now, mind you, these are not supposed to be anybody. We didn't look at anything. These are the imaginative type faces. Okay? They're just whatever they end up looking like. Yeah, they're just fun faces. Yes, the sunbathing girl is in this book. I'll get to it. But at the same time, I have a couple things glued in that just appeal to me at the moment. There's some tape things in there. But hopefully, okay, let me go ahead and zoom in one here so that when I go ahead and draw in here, you can see. Let me get my autofocus thing back up here. So you can see them a little better. Okay, Stonetta wanted to see. Now I gotta go. Okay, I'm recording, and so anyway, funny girls. These are all just real quick little faces to play with and to turn them into some fanciful characters. Okay, I like this one too. Uh, Here, like for instance, this one I glued in these two tires and they look like eyes to me. So we started playing with making it into a face. And I say we because a lot of this was done on stream. So I'm just going to do kind of a quick flip through here. So you can kind of see just different kind of characters. There's some more gluing in. And this is a good way. When I do this one, I always thought of Paula. I just thought that just reminded me of Paula. I don't know why. I named her Paula. Um, when you do these kind of little quick things, you have to just let yourself go. You just got to not You don't overthink it. Still here, but volunteer. Okay, no problem. I'm recording. I know, I understand. People have to come and go. No problem. No problem at all. But you can see that it's on different colors, most of it. Now, there's a few tip-in things here and there, but most of it's just the paper. And that's my Miss Jean. That's Jean, my school teacher. Not that Jean has any spiders hanging out of her hair. Uh, so you can see that you can do these quick sketches on any color. Okay, like for instance, here's an orange. Maybe you can see it. So all I really want to do is I want to get some kind of an oval. I want to decide which way they might be looking, and there's my base. And then I try to just kind of go in and not pick up my pencil, and just kind of play with whatever kind of face just kind of comes out of it. Maybe their ears are here, maybe their hair's here, their ears here, their neck. Maybe they have a funny collar. Now it's looking like Spock to me, or Dracula. Okay, so there you go. Literally 5 seconds. That's it. If you want to draw some cheeks to help you decide where the face forms, cheek and chin, that's it. That's all you do. Just that. And then you take it from there. Okay, that's all these are. They're all just quick. And then we go back and so you can see where I added the white. And here, we'll do another one. Okay, we'll have this one. We'll have this one looking up. Okay, we'll have this one looking up. Okay, so we start with just your basic ovally kind of thing. And then what I try to do is not pick up my pencil. And I just kind of have my eyes like he's looking up. Maybe you'll see his nostrils because he's looking up, or she. Maybe he's got a mustache. And then he's just got some lips here, some quick little sketch. There's the chin there. The cheek is right there. Maybe he's got some curly hair, another cheek over there. Connect the cheek and the chin, put a neck on him, and there you go. That's it. Okay? But you can't be afraid to do this. You can't be afraid. You just don't pick up your pencil and you go for it. Okay, yeah, I'm going to find that one, Julie, that you're talking about, the one, the sunburned girl with the cucumbers on her eyes. Okay, so all just kind of faces. All right, let's see. This one's got scribbles on. Let's see. Let's just have this one looking down. This one's going to be looking down. So maybe this eyes are like this. You'll see the nose looks like that. It looks lips like this. There's the chin, maybe the chin. Here's some cheeks. Some cheeks. Maybe the hairline is like this. There. But then you can go back and play. Yes, very good for loosening up. And you can do the same thing on just copy paper. Just use copy paper, cheap paper that you're not, that you don't care. You can't be worried about, if you're worried about, oh, I can't touch that. I can't do that paper. That paper's too precious. No, I've got to go, oh, no, where's my eraser? You can't do that. So anyway, so like this one has a tiny little face. So again, let's just do a quick little face divide up, and they don't even have to be necessarily the real perfectly divided up, but if you do remember that your face is more divided in half where the eyes are. A lot of people make the mistake, like here's the eyes and then the top of their head's right there, and that's okay if you want to do a character or whimsy or something like that. But see, now I see this as a knit cap. This looks like, to me now, it looks like a knit cap. And so maybe he has a tiny little nose, a tiny little mouth, a little chin, little cheeks over here. Let's just kind of connect those little cheeks like that. There we go. Then you can go back and play. You can, make their eyes more realistic. You can play more and more. There's no limit to what you can do. But it's loosening up. No, I don't spray these, Zandra. I didn't even have any sprays when I had this book, to tell you the truth. I didn't have the dilutions or any of those sprays when I did this one. I started it back in 2011, and I've just never really sprayed in it. It's got, some acrylic bases on it, so I just add acrylic, just acrylic paint here and there. And you can see some of them don't have anything. Here's just, some of them we took one color in white. Like this, I think we took pink and white and saw how much we could do with just pink and white. So with the raspberry pink and white, we tried to make as many shades as we could, and so you can just kind of, they're just quick little play things to get you freeing up. Yeah, and you can use water soluble graphites in this kind of thing. You could just sketch it. This is not a water soluble graphite one, but you could use your Stabilo or some kind of water soluble graphite to draw these, and then go in there with your water brush and do some play. But be aware that if you do use water soluble, I would probably put like a little W in the corner to tell you that, especially if you do a whole bunch of them, this being the reason why. If you use your water soluble graphite or stabilos or any kind of water soluble drawing, when you go back even with acrylic, you're going to be wetting that. You may have forgotten that you've got that all that black pencil ready to get wet. And then when you go in there with a pink color and it starts turning muddy, you're going to go, oh my gosh, it's going to move. Then you'll have to spray it. You can always spray it if you want to save that. But if you just want to do some washes like that with a water soluble, maybe I could find these. I don't know if I can put my hands right. I only have one black Stabilo. If I can find it real quick, I would do, let's see. If I can put my hand right on it, which I probably can't. Is that it? No, but this is a water, no, that's not it. Okay, hang on, let me just see if I can find it real quick. Or one of my water solubles. There's a sketch and wash. That's kind of light, but it'll work. I have one Stabilo, but I can't find it right now. But I do have this one. This is a sketch and wash. Now it's not very. No, that's the carbon. Oh, I just had it in my hand. Hang on, guys. I'll find something water soluble here. Hang on. Because this will move, but it's not going to give you the kind of washy look you might want. Hang on, I'll find something, guys, here. Okay, here's a sketch and wash. Okay, a sketch and wash is good for this same thing. Stabilo will be better. The Stabilo is the black, nice dark black. This is going to be graphite looking. It's going to be kind of shiny and it's going to be kind of gray. Okay, but it'll serve the purpose. So next, let's find another page here to do one on. Well, let me just go over this guy here. I'm just gonna, I broke. Hang on. Let me sharpen it or find something else. Hang on. Let me get something better. I'm just gonna, I want it to show up. Let me find a Stabilo or a big watercolor stick. Something better. See, these shows are live and unscripted. Okay, so here's the same kind of thing, except this is a graphite stick. Okay, and again, it's going to be pencily. It's going to be shiny gray. It's not going to be like the black Stabilo. That would be the perfect thing to do a wash. Okay, I'll show you that in a second too, AJ. All right, so let's just go ahead and go with this just because I just want to put some graphite on here that'll move. Okay, so now, because these are just plain old graphite. But if I want to now play with shading or moving the graphite around, then I can do that. Okay, that will not work with just a general. The general, now, hang on, let me clean my water brush. The general graphite will move, but it won't move like that. You'll get a little bit of, it's kind of scruffy looking, but it's not doing this because it's not made to be a water soluble. But if you go to add, if you had drawn this with water soluble, even if it's dry, and you go to add your acrylic paint, like if I went to add pink paint to this, it's going to move all that graphite and you're going to get a pinky mud. Okay, to get the different facial expressions, for me, what I like to do, and I'll do some quick ones right here for you, is just draw some quick ovals. Like imagine she's looking up. Imagine this one's looking down, even though you can't even tell what direction they're looking yet. But if you just put the direction they're looking, that one's looking that way. That one's looking kind of cattywampus. This one's looking that way. This one's looking down. Whoop, that one's looking down. This one might be looking straight at you. Okay, and then I just divide them. And you can see these how you divide a face up. This is the quick way, okay? You just kind of draw across, divide that in half. That's where the nose will be. Divide that in half, and that's where the mouth will be. That's it. That's all I do. Now, technically, all faces are not going to fit this form. But just to warm up and play, you can get the idea. You see how big the head is. It's not, it's usually, closer to halfway to the middle of the face than it is drawing a face like this and dividing it up and then drawing the eyes way up there. That's just, unless the person is looking up and you're seeing underneath their chin, that your head's bigger at the top than you think. And then, so wherever you're drawing them is where they're looking. Now this one I got kind of weird, but I'm just going to kind of show you. So see how it looks like without even hardly any other features, but just their eyes. See how you can see where they might be looking? But you have to do this thousands of times to really get practice at it. And I mean, I could practice it for 1,000 more and still learn something every time I do it. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, people. Okay, let's go ahead and take our water-soluble stick because this one's not showing up very well. And let's just add a little bit of water-solubleness to her. Just that much. Just so we can go in and add a little bit of water solubleness to make her stand out. There we go. Okay, so you start with a funny face, but then you can go in and do more to it if you just want to play. Okay? All right, let me see if my chat stops scrolling here a second. Hi, Joe. Who else popped in? Sunset Carol. Sorry, my chat didn't scroll for a while. Joe said, you don't always divide it. Wait, hang on. I lost that question. Hang on. You don't always divide it up on paper. Well, not when I'm drawing, like if I'm drawing a portrait or something, I don't need to do that. But for playing and sketching and just making weird, funny faces, I do it like this so that I can just keep a free, loose hand. All right, so yes, I usually do draw you can't see them. Some are very light. You can't really see them there very well. This one's got a line right down her face. You can't see it because I did it very lightly. Okay, just a greeting card I glued in there. Here's one where after we drew the face, went in there with just some acrylic paint. And I painted over all the lines. So you can make them funny faces. They don't have to just be, like this. Then here we did a few more washes. You can go back in there and do some highlighting. And let's see. I've got going some rabbit trails here because we don't have a scheduled thing to do today. Let me find excuse the squeaky chair. It's still my same old chair. Um, wetting the brush before I stick it in paint. But then you can go back in here and kind of, play with different things. And bring out features and things that you might want to maybe even put a little bit of a directional eye glint. Okay, so you just, whatever. But don't be afraid to go in there and play. You can accent, make her have some eyebrows that are highlighted at the top. Okay, may I ask why you choose white? Just to have it show up. It's highlights. Highlights. Yeah. Okay, so again, back to the quick little book here. This is, like I said, we did this back in, I say we, because a lot of this was done right here on camera. Oh, clown. Carrie, I hope she didn't see that. We had a clown in there. Clown alert. I didn't even know it was in there. We won't show that again. So hopefully you can see, they're just, I'll find the cucumber girl here in just a minute. Do you want to add white last when using acrylics? Well, I guess it just depends on what you're doing, Joe. I add it throughout if I need to. If I need to, when I'm doing a portrait, like here, let me show you. Whoa, let me move my paints out of the way. When I'm doing a portrait, like a pencil or mixed media with acrylic accents, or for instance, Sean here. This black and this red is acrylic paint underpainted before any pencil is on top. Then I did his face is all in color pencil, but there's a couple, like right here, that white right there, I added that white. His white hair needed to stand out at the end, the dots in his eyes, and the little bit on his ear, and a little bit right here in his lip. That's acrylic paint. But it's not just a solid, I don't just take that acrylic paint and slop it on there. I thin it out. I get just the right consistency, just the right amount, and I take it slow. I don't just take a big old blob of white paint. Go, it ain't gonna work. Okay, it ain't gonna work. So yeah, this is on Twitter and Facebook. You can see him there. It's got a flash of glare on him here, but all right. So anyway, here's this girl we thought had a sunburn, so we went ahead and put some zinc oxide on her lips and some cucumbers on her eyes. we painted in some cucumbers. So yeah, they're just all different. Just give you some character. Here again, we had the girl was just drawn on pink paper, so we took black and white paint and just shaded her and highlighted her with just black and white to see how much we could get done with that. So you can just kind of see it's just all different. There's a little grandma with a bun and some knitting needles in her hair. Just some things glued in here. A little guy and a Miss Rose vintage Miss Rose paper. Miss Rose vintage paper. Just kind of. So every time we pull this out, we end up drawing a little something in the book. Every time. So you kind of see there. But you just practice, practice, practice. Do thousands of these. Get you a stack of copy paper with 500 sheets in it and draw 500 faces. And tell me at the end of doing this 500 times that you can't draw better. Little Dracula Green girl. Some more vintage papers from Miss Rose. Some little tinier faces. And just draw and draw and draw and draw and draw and draw and draw. Let's do one with the washable, the graphite. Okay, so I'm going to try not to even pick up my pencil here, or this water-soluble graphite, which I don't even need as much really when I'm doing this because of it's going to be washy. I'm going to wash it. All right. Like I said, most of these are not water soluble. Just these ones that I'm doing here. Got too much on here. Just kind of go in there and play. And just ignore the lines that you don't want to, mess with. Okay. So anyway, you gotta get the idea. You need to do 29 faces a day, not one a day. Just saying. Where's my whip at? Sorry guys, y'all know I gotta pull this out every now and then. When I tell you to get crack-a-lacking. 29 faces a day. Not a day, one a day. Don't email me. That's all I gotta say. Okay, so you can see. So you can do long, skinny ones and make them fun and caricatures. You can do all kinds of things. But the point is to practice and play. Just don't have anything right there. There's another one there. What else is in here? I've got a few blank pages here at the back. So anyway, that's my face page. I mean, my Facebook. Sorry, Joe. That's why they're called 5-second faces. There you go. And again, you can play. I mean, I'm just taking the white here because, it's stark highlighting. Maybe we'll have her looking. Let's have her looking off that way. So you just bring your characters to life. But if it doesn't turn out, it's like, oh well, I got another page. I got another blank page there. Now see, here's a good example. I picked up white paint and I'm trying to add highlights, but because it's got that movable graphite, you see how it's moving it? So it's not going to stay put. That graphite, even with paint, the water soluble graphite's going to move. Okay. Just saying. Just know what I mean, Vern? So You get the idea. Okay, so that's my Facebook. That was a rabbit trail right there. For those of y'all that have seen it a bunch of times. We usually add something to it every time, though. Okay, so again, I'll make the announcement of Janet J. Merle. If you're here in our Ustream group and want to be part of let me move that out of the way. If you want to be a part of a pocket letter swap, I've never been in one. I've been in millions. Well, I have to say that, but I really mean hundreds because I have been in hundreds of ATC type swaps. This is basically, to me, it's the same thing as an ATC swap except a 9-pocket theme. So you do hey Jean, a 9-pocket themed type swap with a letter that talks about whatever you want to talk about. In this case, Quail Jan sent me a coffee theme, sent Barb a tea themed. And so I think it's pretty much the same thing as artist trading cards, except, like I said, 9 of them with a theme. That's what we've all come to the conclusion of. Those of us that haven't really done these or looked into them or seen 100 YouTubes on them. So if you're interested in being a part of that, it's a 9-pocket, ATC baseball card pockets, with the divider, pocket page protector. And it's called Pocket Letters. Yeah. And Carrie just posted a pocketpals.com site, so if you want to learn more about it. Oh, let me write that down. Trying to put as many links in my video as I can. Pocketpals.com. Thanks, Carrie. So here's what we got so far. Amazon link for the freestyle book, a Danny Gregory link, and pocketpals.com. And if y'all see Gilly today's her birthday. All right, so yes, it's a one-on-one. In other words, we're going to everybody only has to do one page. And see, then Jan's got photograph cut up on the back. Okay, you do one 9-pocket page with different whatever. You can put little things in it, whatever. The thing about these is, see, it folds up. Oh, that was what I was going to show you. I'll talk about scrapbooking though. So I might run some of y'all off if you're not scrapbookers, but this also works if you swap out with other Project Life people. Like my mom and I will swap that. We can swap things like with this, and you can fold it up even smaller. Okay, and mail. This would get mailed in a business size envelope. Okay, and then plus, if you're in the swap, you'll have to send a self-addressed stamped with at least 3 stamps. It might even, depending on how much you put in it, if you put a lot in it and it's going to cost you 4 stamps to mail it to Janet, then make sure you put a self-addressed stamped envelope with 4 stamps on the return. Okay. So in other words, if you're here and part of our Ustream group and want to be a part of the first pocket letter swap, then let us know. Janet is going to be the host. All right, any questions, guys? I'm waiting for chat to catch up here. Take a sip of coffee. What time is it? Let's see how long we've been here. An hour and a half. Okay. Make sure my chat stays down. Yeah. Thanks, Carrie, for putting that in for Janet on Twitter. Yes, thank you, Carrie. Yeah, if y'all want to email me and swap addresses with me, but I'm not hosting. I'm not hosting it. Janet is. J. Merle here in Ustream. We really need you to be here in the Ustream group to participate in this. Because we just, you want people that are, that are going to be in the swap that are going to participate, or if they can't participate, they email you back and let you know, that sort of thing. Okay, hi, Colleen. So real quick, I will, for a few minutes anyway, We talked about all the different art journals and journals I'm working in and the projects I'm working on. I have a bunch more portraits to do that I'll work on, while I watch y'all's videos. And but I am going to, the next thing I want to do is work on Boo's cheer. These are her recent cheer photographs that I print out all my own photographs, but this is when they went to Florida. There's her BFFs, there's her coaches and all that. These are all, pictures that I got off of from the group. And there's their whole team. And I love this picture. Now, this picture itself is taken by one of the professional cheer photographers, and his name's right across the front there. So this is the only one that I really wanted a Boo. You can see the hands there throwing her up in the air, and that's one of the stunts. And then I've got all these are some of the ones that Denise took or I took at the other couple of the other recent events. This is one of the Disney. There's she and her friends at the Disney. I think Denise took this one. And there she is up in the air. And this was the UCA updates off of Twitter. They posted the picture of Boo's team on Twitter. So I grabbed that one. Her badge. There she is at Disney with, I forget their names, the chipmunks. There's the ESPN Sports ball thing outside the ESPN Sports thing. And they have a summit bid. They will be going back. I think it's the first week of May for the final. Summit is the summit. The summit is the cheer and dance competition that's the biggie. That's the biggie. And so Boo's, I think four or five, they have like 13 teams in their gym. And maybe it's five or six have made summit bids. So, yeah. So they all, and then I print out all my own photos. And I have this one's a duplicate, so I can give some to Boo. Like that's a duplicate, so she can give some to her friends. But these will be the next things that I scrapbook. That being said, can y'all tell I'm a proud Nana? All right. So here, let me show I got a couple of pages that I took out of a frame. This is one that I took out of a frame. I rotate, let me move this box. Okay. I rotate my pictures downstairs. I have two frames downstairs that I rotate pictures out of. This was the last picture when Hubster went to visit my daughter Annie out in LA, and I love that picture. So this is kind of my style of scrapbooking. I just took this one out of a frame to put another one. Like I said, I rotate them out every so often. So I did, I've scrapbooked for a long time, and kind of like Paula, probably before it was ever called scrapbooking. I mean, I used to use greeting cards and cutouts and things to do scrapbooking before the, scrapbooking phenomena came along. And then for probably about 4 years, I was involved really heavily in the scrapbook industry in design teams, and nothing famous like, Elsie and Amy Tan or anything like that. But I was in local scrapbook design teams, and I was, like real involved in 2Ps and, contests and things like that. So I did it really heavily for 4 years. Do I print on regular or fine? Regular or fine what, Jean? I print on the best quality. I put high quality. I'm not sure if that's what you're talking about as far, or if you're talking about paper. I print high quality, the best quality I can, and I always select, even if I'm not printing on the most expensive paper, I always pick the high quality paper in the settings because it seems to give you the more saturation. Okay. Yes, on the ink. Yes, I pick high quality everything when I'm printing pictures. Now, if I'm just going to make a scan of something, I just use my little printer my little $99 Canon, or maybe it's not that expensive. Denise just picked me up a little Canon little cheap printer for right here next to me. But my big Epson that I print out all my pictures on, yeah, I choose high quality, the best ink and the best paper that I can pick. Yes, Jean, good question. So this is kind of my scrapbooking style of late. And as you can see, it's one of those papers that we talked about the other day in the background. I called it piling on, but then someone told me not to call it that. They call it layering. But I like to put lots of layers and things on it. So this is kind of one of my styles here. And then as far as embellishments and stuff go, let me just kind of slide that. I usually keep 3 boxes of embellishments. These are just the lids off the Project Life. Oh, that's the box at the bottom of it there on this one. But these are the boxes that the Project Life sleeves come in. They're just over 12 by 12, so they have lots of space. And I just kind of work out of all this. This is what I work out of when I'm doing. Bye, Kathleen. This is what I work out of when I'm piling on or layering. So I keep just like, here's how I keep my sequins. I talked about that the other day. I keep all my sequins in these little, they're either jewelry bags or ATC card bags, whichever one you use the most, the same bag. And so those work for storing little things like that. Okay, hang on. The tape just busted. I knew it was coming here. Hang on, guys. We won't have a craft lanch. We'll have a camera lanch. All right, let me get another piece of tape. I need to get, if I get heavier tape though, then I'll never get it off, to move the camera around. So there we go. I think we're good. All righty. Let me kind of get the camera tilted right around there. All righty, there we go. Yes. So I just keep things like these handy. And then when they get low, if I see a sale or something, I'll stock up on whatever. So like this, I'll be perfect for the cheer pictures. I have different kind of little quotes and things. Like for instance, when I'm doing Boo's cheer, these are some of their like little fun quotey things that they say in cheer, like glitter bows and Nike Pros, from bow to toe. It's hard to be humble when you can jump, stunt, and tumble. Talk to the bow. Cheer isn't a sport. Meet me on the mat. Or then I fly or I base, depending on which you are. Boo's a flyer. Looks like a beauty. Stunts like a beast. That's my favorite. So I keep things like all that handy, just for layering. I won't call it piling on. There's another bag of sequins. Here's some more sequins, some black ones, some doilies. And of course, I always try to keep different silhouette cameo cutouts handy. You know what I mean, Vern? All kinds of those things. Some wood, some just all different kinds of stuff. A few stickers here and that sort of thing. Here's Dana sent me these, I believe. Haven't used those yet. Little wood chips. So I keep 3 trays of this kind of stuff, and that's what I work out of. Now that doesn't mean I won't go to my other supplies and get something out to use, but it's going to be after I've already gone through this. I try to use up, I buy these chipboard and different kind of cool faux ephemera and embellishments and stuff like this. I don't buy as much as I used to because like I said, I'm not on any kind of scrapbooking thing anymore. So you thought she wouldn't need a cutting machine. Yes, I know, Carrie. I thought I don't need a silhouette. Now I love my silhouette. It's my baby. So anyway, yeah, all kinds of different things to use in my layering. All right. So that I work out of these 3 boxes. And I mean, it only amounts to maybe 2 inches thick, and this sits on top of all my current scrapbook albums. And right now in my current scrapbook albums, let me put this under there, out of my way. this chair again. One, two, three. I have four current albums that I'm working out of. I have one vintage album that I want to work in. And this is really, these are kind of personal ones for me and the girls. But I want to do a whole album. Shh, don't tell them. I want to do an album back in, I'll just show you a couple here because I know they'll get embarrassed. I know they get embarrassed of these but we used to do newspaper ad modeling, the three of us, me, Denise, and Annie, and do newspaper modeling for uh, uh, department store. I won't say which one, but for department store. So when I have all these old black and white prints from the newspaper ads, they're all black and white because that was back in, this would be 1988, 89, 90. I think they were 15 and 16. And so these were all old photographs of us from back then. And I got, look, I got stacks of these pictures. So I want to do an album. I want to do an album for them back then. But I want to show you. Here's Denise. Look at the hairstyle. Look at the puff ears. Now, these are two other girls. I don't know who they are. But look at the hair. This is your late 80s hair right here. There's Denise. And there's me when I had real short hair. I used to wear my hair real short. But look at these dresses. Look at these. They're like frocks. They're like frocks. So anyway, that was these are the kind of pictures. I want to do a couple albums of us these are from the 80s. And let's see here. Let me pick out a couple other ones. I won't go through them all, but I just thought it was really cute. Let me find one. Here is okay. This is one for dressy dresses. So I don't. This is another girl that was in our photography, and then there's me sitting on the looking all formal. Let me find this. I want to find one. This is a cool one here of Annie and Denise. See, like I said, they probably go, "Oh my gosh, don't show those old pictures with the big hair, big hair." Farrah style, yes. Okay, let me find, and even Hubs. We even got Hubster. We even got Hubster in there occasionally. So there's me and Hubster modeling sports shirts. Oh my gosh. Okay. No, I don't know if I'll show the bathing suit one. But this is when overalls were real popular. There's me wearing overalls. I love me some overalls, I gotta say. This was one I had to pretend I was wearing a maternity shirt. Anyway, guys, yeah, these were fun. I'm trying to find some more big hair because I didn't have big hair. Ah, here we go. No, that's not Annie. Okay, hang on. Let me find one with Annie in it. I'm trying to find one with both the girls. Okay, this is my favorite one of Denise. Now, she had her hair in a ponytail. Now, Denise is only 5'2", and so, but she looks so cute in that outfit. That's one of my favorite pictures of Denise right there. All right, hang on. I'll find one more here. They're going, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe you're showing these." That's kind of a good one. This is still the best one of Annie right there. Annie's in the middle. There's me, Annie, and Denise right there. So anyway, this is one of the scrapbook projects that I want to work on and make each of them a little, it's not going to be like a full album or anything, but it'll be like a small album. Okay, here's a good one. Look at all their hair. There's Denise, Annie, and a couple other girls, but look how big their hair is. Vern's in the chat. Know what I mean? It's got to be Paula. Oh my gosh. KWIM Vern. Is that Paula? Or is that Carrie being a being funny? Oh my gosh. Well, anyway, so yeah, so that's one of my projects. Like I said, I got tons of those to work from to do a black and white album for each of them. Who is it? Ah, which one is it, guys? I bleached my hair. Let's see. Eileen says, I bleached my hair. The front was almost white and the top was green. Black and orange in the back. No, no. It's got to be Paula then. I mean, it's got to be Carrie. I'm gonna give it away. I don't know that I will. Okay. Oh, that. All right. Now I know it's Carrie because there's a squirrel there. Know what I mean? I gotta write that down. That's good, Carrie. Let me get a post-it note. Here's my post-it. Here we go. Yep, that's got to go in the wing nut book. If you're not here live in the chat, you're missing out. It was Jean's idea. Okay, so I'm going to put down Jean and Carrie as the culprits. That's going in the wingnut book. For those of y'all that don't know what the wingnut book is, the wingnut book is a little book called Wingnuts. Go figure. It's a little book called Wingnuts. And it's a little Tim Holtz book where he sold these little books where they actually have wingnuts. And it's all the funny things that everybody says here, quips, quotes, funny things, and they get put in the wingnut book. Does anyone remember? Yes, Tony Perms with the papers and the plastic rollers, Eileen. I remember Tony Perms. I probably had me some Tony Perms back. Oh my goodness. Tony Perms. Oh, gee. Okay, so let me put that back under there. Stack that up. A squeaky chair with my little blanket thing that doesn't stay put. Okay. Yeah, and they smelled. Oh my gosh, they smelled like ammonia or whatever it was they used in those Tony. I guess perms. I don't know. I haven't had a perm and I don't even can't even tell you how long. But they probably still smell some, but not like that. You cut your hair on Saturday night in rags so you would look good in church. Girl, yeah, or those. Remember those big rollers this big? Those big rollers, paper bags. Oh my gosh, you girls, it's so funny. She curled your hair with a hot poker. Oh my goodness, I never had that. I never went that far. Oh my goodness. So anyway, so these are that my cheer pictures and the black and white ones. I do have projects to do with those. But let me just kind of let's see what's my most. Let's see which one. This is kind of one of my favorites, but let me see. I'm just going to pull out one of my books. Okay, I think I like this is one of my favorites that has some in it that I really like. This is just a quick little we're almost out of time here. So I'm just going to kind of show you a little bit of how I do my scrapbooking. This one needs to get put in a book. Like I said, I just took it out of a frames because that I rotate downstairs. So I don't have pictures all over the house. I keep a couple of framed pictures, and that's it. Out. The rest are all in books. And I've gone since Project Life came out. I probably have one, two, three, four, five, at least five books now that have a combination of scrapbook pages and Project Life. So what I'll do, I don't scrapbook um, date wise. I scrap thematically. So whatever, like whatever something's going on, like booze cheer, a Christmas, something like that. But it's not anything day like I don't do anything day by day like Project Life day by day type of thing. And I also mix it up. I'll put a 12 by 12 next to a Project Life sleeve, two sleeves, and an 8.5 by 11, whatever I feel like working on. So, for instance, and also it's great for leftover pictures. So, if I just have like little leftover pictures, I'll just throw them in some sleeves for now. This was 2013 when, and so you can see this is an 8.5 by 11, but it's got the Project Life type thing. So this was when Hubster and Cam went to visit Annie out in LA, and they went to the beach and all that. I won't get into all the what the pictures are so much as just the technique. So you can see here's some Project Life, some more Project Life. I got a lot there. And then here's an 8.5 by 11. Here's an 8.5 by 11. An 8.5 by 11. So I'll just mix it up. Then some Project Life, 8.5 by 11, and then there's a 12 by 12. And I also don't feel the need that I have to, if I just stick a couple pictures in here, that doesn't bother me. I don't have to have every single thing decorated. It's all a mismatch, all mixed up for me. I like it that way. I like just having it doesn't have to be in any kind of perfect order. Now, I know that's probably terrible for some of you that can't stand having everything not dated and in order and, no loose pictures and all that, but it's the way I roll. So here, like as an example, here's Annie and Logan last year, 2013, at the pumpkin patch. So I did a 12 by 12, but I also have a Project Life right next to it. So you can kind of see that I'll do both. Okay, what days I remember thinking. And then I just have a couple leftover pictures. So I'll just throw those on the back there. This is one of my favorite pictures of Annie and Logan. They're out having ice cream or something, and he's got on a fedora. And I print out all my own pictures, so I can crop them and cut them and make them any size I want. Again, there's a new sheriff in town. They went to the Western whatever out there. And then if I know Paula's not here, but she will remember this paper. Remember that old paper? I finally got to use that paper. So yeah. So there's just different little, I use my own paper to make Project Life Project Life cards. So what I do is, and then here's one of the smaller Project Lives. Here's, just random pictures. And then here's a big page again. Again, this is kind of how my style of scrapbooking is. It's piling on. Layering. So I've got two things of paper there, but I've got a couple other layers under the pictures, and you can see it's just all layered up. And I know not everybody scrapbooks, so just hey, see you later. It's no big deal. But I do try to do a little bit of scrapbooking every month. I try to have at least one show or one day where I scrapbook a show every month. And if I don't get to it, then I at least do it off camera. But here again, this I did all in red, gray, black, and white. Little paper clips and there's some of my cameo cutouts. I'm turning it sideways because it won't fit up under the camera. Some snowflakes one of you girls had sent me. I put one of those there. I like string and little pins, and I'm going to go upside down there so you can see the other side. So that's just kind of that's how I roll in scrapbooking. So this one was the same day, so I did two 12 by 12s in this case. Again. some little couple of sequins, a little one of those puffy Michael's puffy glitter hearts, some sequins and little snowflakes, just so you can kind of see some of the detail. Arrows, I love arrows. Now I'm going upside down there. So I put Snow Day 2014. Okay. So just all different. This is when they went to, was it Joshua, what is it called out in California? I forget. Anyway. So that's just kind of how I roll. Lots of splattery paint, all kinds of backgrounds. This is when I FaceTimed with them. And then here's a blank page, nothing there. So this might be, no, that's not when they went to California. I was going to say I could just slide that in there, but this is a year earlier. Then these are some different ones where I've just done random things. Now these were in 2Ps challenges that I did right before they shut down. This was you had to use a challenge of using, what was it, 1, 2, 6 things in nature? I think you had to use 6 things out of nature. So I called myself a nature gnome. I was sitting out in the yard, but I did a palm tree, sun behind the clouds, some rocks, some flowers, and I'm showing upside down, and some feet in the sand. So this was one of the challenges that I did for 2Ps, one of their last contests that they had during, I think it was during CHA, not this CHA, but last CHA. This one won a contest at 2Ps, and I got a big packet of free goodies for this one. And I called it Life's Little Leftovers, and it's the strips off of the scrapbook papers. Okay, the brand name strips, and I made little pockets, and then all the little bits of pieces of scrapbook stuff you have left over after you make a page, little, glassine, little pieces of ribbon, little bits of leftovers, a little pom-pom, but there's 1, 2, 3, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 pockets, and then I put little black brads on each side to hold it down, and I used all different kind of leftover letters. Even that's what I had to fit together to make an L. And then, so this one I was happy with. It was fun to do, but I didn't think, I could never have thought that this would have won a contest, but it did. So these were some of the last ones that I did in the 2Ps CHA challenges. And then, so then right in the middle of all that, I had these vintage pages of 1952 of Hubster when he was a baby and a little boy. And I did them all in black and white with yellow accents. So that's just like randomly in there. This is another one of my favorites. I know this is boring to a lot of people. Don't email me if you're not a scrapbooker and this is boring to you. Yes, I did, Carrie. Carrie, that would be a great picture to print out and do something with. I love that picture. Carrie posted a old house in an old barn on Twitter yesterday. Oh my gosh, it was a beautiful, amazing picture. That should be in one of those pictures that you see on Twitter all the time, in those, then you got the cute dog, the cute pet, the world, around the world photos. I like all those. I know it's, cheesy, but I follow all those cheesy photograph pictures. I like them. I like photographs. I like the photography is another form of art that I like. This is one of my favorite pictures. It was just a small snapshot, and I blew it up and clarified it and sharpened it as best I could. But this was Hubster. They used to go to Savannah. That's where Hubster was born. They and we're in Georgia, and we still go to Savannah and still have relatives there. But anyway, this was taken in 1959, and Hubster, we tease him, he looks like a Skeletor. He looked like that until he went into the Army at 19. When he went in the Army at 19, he still looked just like that. He was 6'2", and weighed like 120 pounds. And I mean, I'm probably not exaggerating by much. But there's his brother and his sisters and a cousin, and there's his mom back there. But I love this picture. Aw, thanks, uh, guys. I appreciate that. And so I kept it real simple with just a little bird and some, splattery paint and stuff. But I'm gonna have to turn it upside down so you can see it. But I use those vintage bottle caps, vintage little campers, and a vintage car because that's how they got around. They didn't, we didn't have their, nobody traveled in planes back then. We all drove when we went on family vacays. But anyway, so I love that picture right there. And of course, his mom since passed away, and so special memories. This is my little. We did this one on stream actually. This is one of my. This is my great niece, and it's my sister's granddaughter, and they live out in Texas. So this was a technique that we saw in. I don't know if it was on Two Peas or something. It was not a challenge, but it was a technique that somebody posted, and we tried to duplicate that technique as much as we can. Of course, we use different kind of things. We use different kind of embellishments and stuff than they had on but the background technique with the certain kind of inking and splattering and stuff like that, we tried to duplicate it just to show that you can duplicate, semi-duplicate projects that you see online, whether it be the sketches or the actual projects themselves. So we did try to duplicate that. Hey, Miss Yancy. Excuse me. So anyway, and I do like the one picture looks. I know that I used to put a lot of pictures, and I probably have 25 of these books in the other room on a shelf, and it's gone through different waves of trends. Sometimes the trends are inking and splattering. Sometimes the trends are layering. Sometimes the trends lots of pictures on one page. Sometimes it's Project Live. Sometimes it's one small picture, one big picture. All kinds of trends come and go, and I like to try them all. I mean, I'll be the first to admit I'll go for a trend in a heartbeat. Just to test it out and play with it. So here's again the same type of background kind of technique that was posted, except I did this one with Boo when she got her new. This is what cheerleaders do when they get a new pair of shoes. Look at that look on her face. That is a new pair of of cheer shoes. Now they're not tennis shoes. They're not. And I froze up for a second. They're not like just your plain old tennis shoes. These shoes are cheer shoes, and they're like $100 each. Well, her aunt Annie, my daughter Annie, usually buys her new pair of shoes every year to support her in her cheer. But look at that look on her face. Oh my gosh, I got my new cheer shoes. Woohoo! Thumbs up. So anyway, and then there's nothing on the back of this one. No biggie to me. Something might or might not. Then in the midst of that, I have different kind of things where I've just taken photographs of different my paint brushes. There's a picture of my desk. My yeah. Here's the original pocket letter. This is what I might do for. That would be a good theme, wouldn't it, guys? To photograph if you're going to do the pocket letter challenge that Janet's going to do or have us do your hobby. We can all do our hobbies or crafts or art or whatever. Like you're painting hands. Wouldn't that be a good challenge? I mean, wouldn't that be a good pocket letter? Who's in? Who's in for that? Because that's probably what I'm going to do. Seeing that's going to be my inspiration. Yeah, any kind of art hands, art crafts, anything you do, that would be a great pocket letter. And we would all do whatever it is we do, right? I'm going to pull this out. This is going to be my inspiration. So here again is some different things that I've done and just print it out. Again, this is where I tell you to, when you do a journal page, yeah, I'm just going to pull this out, Miss Yancey. I'll just pull this page out to remind me. When you do an art journal page that you really like, photograph it and then you can print it out and use it. In this case, I just kept them because I like these particular pages that I'd done. But yeah, so if you find something that you do and you like it, photograph it. And now everybody can photograph with their phone. If you got a phone, you can take a picture and just print it out. Okay. So anyway, I thought that might be a good, that's going to be my inspiration. I'm not telling y'all what to do. I'm just saying, hey, that's good, my inspiration. Again, I've got different things that are art things. I've done a few art cards and some art things in here. I did do uh, I did a couple of Project Life cards pages here. This one is, I did it on my Muse. So you don't even have to do a Project Life on just photographs. I dedicated this Project Life to my muse, which is Mona Lisa. There's a whole story behind that, but I won't get into that now. But so I just did different bits of little, I made my own little art cards using Leonardo quotes, Leonardo sketches, then the Mona. And so you can see this is my ode to Mona. Mosaic pages. And then, nothing on the back. Then I also, for those y'all that, let me get this, it's so full, they're coming out here. Hang on, let me get my pages back in here. This one's full. I also, DFP Deb gifted me a cameo, and when she did, I honored it with a, a Project Live page. So, hang on, let me close this so they don't go flying. So I took pictures of the cameo. These are the first things I ever cut out on the cameo. I cut out thank you DFP Deb. There's the picture of the cameo and the software, and she sent me the silhouette design studio. There's the actual card. I've downloaded that. Keep calm and turn your cameo on. So there's the gift card that came with it. That's the actual card she sent. And this is, so these are different, my first cuts. There's my first, a photograph of my first cut. So this is all dedicated to DFP Deb sending me Her Majesty Camille, as I call my cameo. Her Majesty Camille. I know Jean doesn't name her machines. I name everything. Name my machines, my car. I'll name it all. So anyway, and that was October 2013. So yeah, about a year and a half ago, I guess now that she sent it to me, and I love it. Okay, then there's the back. I just cut out different colors of cardstock to fit and did my Project Life on top of cut cardstock. You don't have to have Project Life cards. You can make your own. All this is handmade Project Life cards. No Project Life cards were hurt in the making of this. Okay, so anyway, guys, that, and then I have a section here with all kinds of nature flower pictures I've taken at the botanical gardens, beach pictures, anything kind of like nature like. Oh, these ones right here are my first attempt at Project Life type cards with stuff on them. So I guess, I don't know if you would call these art cards, Project Life cards, pocket paper card, I don't know. But I just wanted to make some little collages, and these I did vintage. So you can see you can do all kinds of things with Project Life. It doesn't have just to be the Project Life cards you buy from the store. This has got a little pocket, some pearls, a little button, some little seam binding, a little flower I made out of ribbon, some, what do you call those, hat pins, faux hat pins, doilies, little pieces of paper, stapled, just plain old staples. It's just, all it is, Anita, is a pocket. I made a pocket, decorated the pocket, and put a bunch of stuff in it. That's just a little flower. This is just something that it's not, it wasn't any project. It was just something I wanted to play with. So I made a few of those and I just keep them because I like them. They make me happy. Here's another one. You could just put little scraps of fabric, feathers, beads, buttons, baubles, bows. What else can I say? It starts with a B. You see, and they're not overly thick. They're not too thick. And this is just on plain old craft cardstock. So these are kind of things that you can, make just to have fun with or whatever. So that's kind of like that album. Just to kind of show you a couple of how I scrapbook. And, like I said, I try to do a page here and there. This is like Boo's first day of junior high. Or is it first year? I think it was the first day of junior high. Well, first, yeah, because she got her first locker. That's what it was, first locker. And of course, she had the mirror, the fuzzy shelf, the light. The girls do all that kind of stuff. And then this one right here, this was last year, Boo's birthday. And I caught a picture of her and Denise from behind. So you can see, I love this big picture of Boo. And I blew that one up. And then I have a smaller one. And I just call this one My Girls 2014. I'm not a big journaler. If I need any kind of real information, I'll either have a receipt, a tuck down. Oh, hang on, don't let that camera get away from me again. And tuck it in, or I just put the basic information. I'm all about the art page. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I like the page. I love scrapbooking, but I like the artistic part of it too. I'm not a big journaler. I'm just not. Life is beautiful. That's all I need to say. My Girls 2014. Life is beautiful. The picture says everything else. Kind of like my art journal pages. The art will say what I want to say. I don't put a lot of words on my art. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Don't email me about that. And then I just got random different cheer pictures in here. Uh, Different from last year where she's gone on competitions. Here's where they won a big competition. So I blew this picture up. This picture was probably like that big. And I just cropped out everybody else in this picture. Got Boo in there. And then I've got different notes if I want to add. Now this is one of my favorite pictures. I got to say this. And hopefully y'all are getting some inspiration and some ideas. If you're not a scrapbooker, maybe you're getting some color themes going. I always keep my post-it notes handy. So if I'm watching your streams or watching a YouTube, even if I'm working, I still have a piece of paper and pen handy. If I see something cool, like a color combination, I might think, oh my gosh, I love the color of coral and teal and gold together. Oh my gosh, those three colors. If I don't write it down, I'll never remember coral, teal, and gold. Never. I'll never remember that. And so that's why, thanks, AJ. That is why I always write down everything that I want to remember. You have to. You will not remember that you like teal, peach, and gold 4 days from now. You won't even remember where you saw it. If you don't write it down, write down the YouTube link or write down the person that's doing it. That's why when y'all give me cool ideas, not just the Wingnut book, but any book, and y'all, I hear you, and I know I don't catch everything in the chat, but if y'all say something funny or witty or cool, I write it down and I write your name next to it. I want to know who gave me that idea. So this one is one of my favorite pictures. And it's because this was when Mom came last year. She came again this year in 2015. This was 2014. But she came in 2015 again to see Boo. And I titled this one, You Are My Great Cheerleader. And this is 2014. Because you don't know which one's the cheerleader. Is Mom cheering Boo or is Boo she's mom is her cheerleader because it takes a village to support a cheerleader. Unless you are very wealthy, it's like any sport your kids are involved in. Cheerleading, basketball, gymnastics, anything. It costs money to be in these things. And we all rally around Boo doing this. And so mom is one of her great cheerleaders. So I love that page for this like multi-purpose reason. So there's my mom and Boo. And yeah, whether it be a sport, art, music, anything that you want your kids to try and be good at. And they may not, they may pick up the piano one day and end up being playing guitar, or they might end up, like now Cam loves to do his art, but he applied for the journalism next year in school. He wants to be on the school newspaper. So, there's just all kinds of things, and you have to support them. Well, you don't have to, but we do. Okay, let's just say that. In whatever they want to try to achieve. And I know a lot of people don't know about the whole thing of cheerleading and stuff and how much of a sport it really is. The tumbling, the practice, the gymnastics, the stunts, the exercise, the dedication, the travel, all of it that it takes to be in cheer or gymnastics or anything like that. It's a lot of hard work, and these girls are and guys are very dedicated to it. They work out 5 days a week. They're in cheer camps in the summer. They belong to, gyms that cost money to be in. And so they're very dedicated. And the thing is, Boo loves it. And they're like, there's her friends in cheer are like their sisters. They're like a big family. They take care of each other. They watch over each other. I mean, it's just and it's the same thing I'm sure with any the guys in hockey or baseball, football. They bond. They learn social skills and camaraderie, team dedication, hard work. These girls know if they don't practice 5 days a week, they are not going to win. And not that winning is necessarily everything, but it is something. Okay. So anyway, enough of my soapbox. So again, these are just very basic Project Life sleeves. I have black paper and teal glitter paper. No Project Life cards at all. Just pictures, and so you don't even have to have Project Life cards. Now you do need the Project Life sleeves, the dividing, these page protector type things that are divided up into sleeves. You do kind of need that. You know, but here's all just different. Here's all the bows that they win. They put their bows on their backpacks. They're like little badges of every every event they go to, things like that. What did Anita say? Yeah, it does. It does teach them so much when they're in team sports. There's me, mom, and Denise. And then these are just random photographs that I was able to snap during this particular one. Then this one, this is another one of my favorite ones. This is when they went to Florida in 2000 and in March 2014. So this is like right at a year ago. And there, I caught one of her and her friends, or Denise did. Denise took this one, walking with their backpacks, their bows, and that I just love this the way this turned out. So basically, all it is one blue sheet of paper, one Project Life cutout card, and well, that's actually two. I don't even know if that's probably that's a cameo cutout and a Project Life. I don't remember, but two of those cards and just little bits of washi tape and paper and sequins. So it's not a lot on there, but it's very effective because the photograph is like the focal point. Yeah, and Jean's the same. I mean, talk to Jean. Talk to Jean about music scrap. Her with all the things, her handicap she's had all her life, and now she's a music teacher. She plays piano, bagpipes. I don't even know what else. Let me see. Did she even mention? But I mean, so I'm telling you, Jean can attest if you can overcome a lot to do what you love. This was just a father daughter dance picture. these are two more of my favorite pictures. And I know, like I said, I'm sort of talking about my family, kind of, bragging on my granddaughter and stuff like that. But I'm also kind of showing you how I do my scrapbook layouts, which I have about 10 more minutes. So this was a picture when they came as well. There's my mom and Denise, and mom, and mom lost, my dad, and Ken lost his wife many years ago. And they've been married for 14 years now. They met in church. And they both come and support Boo. They've come the last 2 years, and they've supported her since day one, but they've actually come out every year since then. And so I turned this picture into a black and white. I just love that picture, and I did all the pretty colors, but I kept it mainly white and black with a touch of pink and yellow. And this one is a 2-page spread. I don't do too many 2-page spreads anymore, but this one goes, and it's not even necessarily, they go together. Okay, there's mom and Denise in that one, and again, some splattered paint, using this color, and lots of layers. And I don't overthink these things. I don't overthink the layers. Like a typewriter really has nothing to do with it. I liked it because it was yellow. The yellow brought in the yellow from this. That's the only reason I put it there, because it was yellow. I mean, it's cute, and you can say it captured, the moment, but it didn't really. I'll go by just color. So you don't even necessarily have to use your embellishments as, somebody that's a writer, or uses typewriters. Okay. And again, then this was my birthday. This was when I had my birthday party, and I got everybody's picture, and I got one of me. But they made me cupcakes, and they handmade everything, Boo, and they made the cupcakes and the candy. And here's Boo doing the candy. Boo does like to bake. She likes to cook and bake. Of course, she's always been crafty, but then, I got them started in that. She's more crafty, hands-on, make things like jewelry, and using, a hard copy of something, like a three-dimensional something, where Cam likes to do drawing, painting, and, two-dimensional art. Okay, so and then again, this is just different pictures that Annie has. I have to get my pictures of Annie off of Facebook mostly, unless they visit. Sorry, guys, it froze up. I got a bunch of incoming mail, and it froze me for a second. But I'll grab random pictures off of Facebook of Annie and Dan and Logan. This was my birth. Every year, Hubster takes me to the museum. Well, it used to be. Now it's Blick, takes me to the art store, the High Museum in Atlanta, to the Blick art store, and out to the Varsity for greasy onion rings. That is my traditional birthday. So here's my Varsity ode to the Varsity. If y'all don't know what the Varsity is, just look it up. And so I got my greasy onion ring pictures. That's actually Hubster's hot dogs. I don't need hot dogs unless I cook them myself, or Hubster cooks them. But anyway, he gets him a chili dog. I like the greasy onion rings. There's the Varsity sign, Varsity logo, and so there's like my little ode to going to the Varsity every year. This is at the High Museum. This happened to be when they had the Annie Oakley and Buffalo Bill exhibit, and they had those cutouts where you can stick your faces in them. There's my grand dog. There's Oreo. That's my grand dog. We were talking earlier. Carrie's dog looks almost just like Oreo. But anyway, so I was out for a walk. So I took a couple pictures of Oreo, did a scrapbook page on him. And he's a boy dog, and I did them all in pink, yellow, and it was spring. What can I say? This is when Carol came to visit, and I think it was Pavla that snapped the picture for us. She snapped the picture of us when we did a live Ustream. So there is, if y'all don't know who Sunset Carol is, there's our Sunset Carol, and there's me, and this is when we streamed. And so I just did a little BFF kind of thing. Again, the typewriter. It's just cute, and it tied in with all the little girly stuff that I used. I did it all like real girly girl. So that's Sunset Carol. Hi, Carol, if she's here. And yeah. Oops. quite get those pages in there. Okay, hold on, guys. Hold the fort. The camera came down again. I keep bumping into the tripod legs because this book is 12 by 12. I don't have that much space here. Okay, I think we're back in business again. There we go. I'll try to keep away from the tripod legs. Again, there's another picture of me and Mom when she visited. We cooked together. Here is Cam. Cam loved to travel. He would probably love to be on Nat Geo, a Nat Geo photographer, a Nat Geo artist, a Nat Geo. I can just see him. He loves to travel. He loves adventure. And he's very quiet. His friends and him are all the kind that are very, you'd call them geeks probably, very introverted, very, and then people would call them probably cliquish. They hang together, they talk about things, and they're very artistic. They're in drama, they're in art clubs, but they're also in engineering, math, but they're very, you wouldn't, unless you really take the time to know these kind of kids. They're not outgoing like Boo, and her friends, where they're all outgoing and talk and all out there. I don't know how I got off on that. Yes, I make grilled cheese for Carol. I make grilled cheese for everybody. I don't know, except JJ. JJ has she has to eat certain food, so she had her own food. She did not eat. I don't think JJ ate one of my grilled cheeses. I could be wrong, but I don't think she did. No, she didn't because she can't have bread. But anyway, so I just kind of randomly I did a see the world and put Cam there, and then all kinds. He's an artist, so I did art, paint tubes, um, camera, a globe. I don't know. He doesn't have a mustache, but it just fit. That's on his side. Again, another one. This is kitchen sink soup. Mom and I making soup when she was here. And you can see, look at all this negative space and piled on right there. I just like the way that looked. I piled it on. I mean, layered thoughtfully. Oh, hey, Jeannie. We're almost out of time. Let me do a couple more here. Oh, this one was fun too. Again, Mom, when they came in at the airport, we went to the airport and picked them up, of course. This was in 2014, not this trip, but the trip last year. And she texted me and said, "We're here." So there's Mom's selfie. Although I think Ken took it. Ken probably took the selfie. But there's Mom at the airport saying, "We're here." So I titled this ATL Atlanta. We are here. That was off the phone snap, the selfie. And so I did all this art and piling on for that one picture. But I don't make any apologies for it. Oh, and I also colored that rose. Oh, Jeannie, did you get your rose yet? I sent you the pink one. You should get it by maybe today. Well, today's Monday, so you'll probably get it today. You'll probably get your rose today, Jeannie. The Prima color pencil rose. So this is the blue one I did. I color penciled that one on one of those little Prima cards. And then it's just got sequins. It's got little bits of scraps of paper. You can just use those scrappiest little bits of stuff when you pile it like that. Doilies and little bits of paper. Okay, probably be there today. All right. Then on the back, we always go to Red Robin. We love our Red Robin. Red Robin. And so this is when they were all here, when Mom and we all went out to eat. There's Hubster, Mom, Denise. Who took this picture? I don't know. Oh, I think we got the waitress to take this picture because I'm in it and I'm usually the one taking the pictures. Anyway, so again, this was a very simple version of Project Life. None of this is Project Life cards. It's all cardstock, paint, some gold, some copper paint, sequins, string, little stickers, and all that. So you don't have to have Project Life, a bunch of Project Life. See, it's just black cardstock. Okay, I hope you'll get it today, Jeannie. I mean, a lot of happy mail went out last week. Oh, the other thing I was going to show you is like I've done Project Life pages for mom, and look, you can get it all in one envelope. Look. So folding up your pocket letters, you can do the same thing with your Project Life. Mom and I have been doing it for a long time. You just fold it up. I mean, even if there are some bulky things on there, you can still fold it. You can fold it either way. It'll all fold up and fit in one little envelope. So that's a great way if you're a Project Lifer and you have a Project Life person that you can swap Project Life pages that are ready for photographs. Okay, there's my grandson Logan. That's Annie's son. My other grandson, the family out in California, and he likes his milkshakes, and she calls them shaky milks. Now I gotta say, Annie and them are very health conscious. She runs Runyon Canyon I don't know how often. They stay in shape out there. They stay in shape. He does not get very many shaky milks. He doesn't get a lot of sugary candy, anything non-nutritious, which is good. Good. Even Cam now. Cam's kind of partially gone vegan on it, and we all, if he just doesn't want to eat meat, he doesn't have to eat meat. You know. Anyway, I won't get into all our personal eating habits. This is one of my favorite pictures of Annie and Denise right here. This is when we were at a cheer practice when Annie was visiting. And I've also done this same picture blown up. So I'll reuse the same picture. I'll use it on one page. I'll use it on another page. If I like the picture, I'm going to use it more than once. This one right here, I'll take it out to show you. Juanita knit Cam one of these beanies, and Cam calls it, he says it's a slouchy beanie. Cam loved that beanie, and I think he still has it. This was last winter. And he loves his coffee. Cam loves his Starbucks. So I just did all this in a page beanie made by for Cam by my online friend Juanita, March 2014. And then I like the little corner here. I just flipped up the little page and just put a little corner thing in there. Hi, Teresa. Yeah, we're almost done here, guys. And this is one of my all-time favorite scrapbook layouts, and this will be the last one I show. This is Annie, Dan, and Logan, and this was taken by a professional photographer. They go glamping and they'll do professional photography, and but they don't think they print anything out. I think it's all on Facebook, so I have to grab it off of Facebook and make my own scrapbook pages. But I had this one framed downstairs for a long time because I just love this page. Pieces of vintage lace, a Prima crushed flower, more doilies. This is actually a hat pin that's purple. You can't see it there, but it's purple. It's a hat pin with lots of bling. And this is my all-time, I love that photograph with bling. And I just called it We Three, or We. I think I just named this one We. So, yeah. So anyway, guys, so there's a little bit of scrapbooking. If you are a scrapbooker or just want some ideas for layouts of different, design elements. Oh, this one right here. This was a, what's her name? What's the lady's name that she was at Two Piece for a long time. Wilna Furstenberg. I had bought a Wilna Furstenberg two-piece clasp when they were still around. And one of the techniques is with using different watercolors and things. This is canvas paper. The canvas paper that you do oil painting, or, well, not just oil painting, but it's canvas. And you buy it in a pad, and you ombre it, and you tear it in strips. So all that is ombre painted Wilna Furstenberg design. The same thing. Now this is not her design, but I use the same technique with the canvas strips. So that's actually canvas strips back there. But anyway, I think, I did have one other thing to show real quick if I can put my hand right on it without knocking over everything again. Let me just flip through here real quick. Yeah. This is one of my favorite layouts of Cam. He's just a hipster to me. So I just call him my hipster. But this is, again, with the beanie, and he gets all different kinds of, he doesn't have terrible vision, but he needs glasses a little bit. So, he's like trendy with the glasses. But this was a two-piece contest as well. And this is one of my favorite pages too, which shows that it's not just like a lot of negative space. It's a lot of piling on. It's a lot of piling on, but it's all over the place. Lots of layers. It's layer, 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 layer. All those different layers. But I love this page too. So anyway, guys, I hope you kind of enjoyed seeing some Project Life. This was another two-piece contest. This is when we went to the Dolly Museum. So it's just all kinds of random things. Another trip to Red Robin. This was a two-piece challenge to use scribbles. That's all like scribbly, scrunchy, drawing, painty, splashy. A different way to do, a layout. All right, guys, so I hope y'all kind of enjoyed hanging out and seeing journals, talking about journals, and a little bit of scrapbooking here at the end. And I think that, for me, unless there's anybody says otherwise, that there's some kind of specific theme, if we can just do any kind of pocket letter pages, I'm going to go with that kind of theme. What I do, painty hands, that kind of thing. So we'll have to get with Janet and see if she says anything different. So if anybody's going to be in, let me make a couple announcements. If anybody's going to be in the pocket letter swap, Janet here is the one that you'll need to get in contact with. She's going to be the host for it. I've never done one of those. I've done tons of artist trading cards and all that, and I don't think it's that much different. I think if you've done any kind of artist trading cards, you can trade nine of them in a here's the only one I've ever seen in person and had. I've since looked online for a couple others, and this was our Quail Jan sent me this one, and sent Barb a tea one. Mine's a coffee themed one, and so we're going to do a swap using that, and I think for me that would be a good theme. The other thing is too, I don't see Jilly here. If y'all see Jilly around today, today's her birthday. The other thing is Paula is going to do the Journal Artista is going to do the right side of the brain, drawing on the right side of the brain, going through the book. And I think there's 20-something projects in there to practice projects, whatever you want to call them, to do in that book. So if y'all want to be involved in that. And I think that's it, guys. Got any questions, spring or flowers? Well, I think that it's anybody will love to get anything we do, so it's all good. So anybody can do whatever they want. There's no theme. That's what I'm just getting in the chat. There's no theme. If you're watching this and you're going to be a part of the pocket letter swap, there's, I guess, no theme. You can do whatever you want. I'm just saying that there's, they're just saying there's no theme in the chat. Creative Creation do a few vids on Pocket. Okay, so Cheeky Girl said that creations, C-R-E, let me write that down. I'll reference it after I find it. Cheeky Girl said that CRE8 Creative has done a few vids on pocket letters. So we'll look up that and I'll try to reference that in my video links. Thank you. Thank you, Cheeky Girl. Okay. All right. If there's no other questions, thanks everybody for being here. Maybe next show I'll do a giveaway. Didn't have time to do one today. We're out of time. So thanks everybody for being here. And we'll talk to you soon. Oh, wait, Jean, are you streaming today? Is Jean already gone? Jean, are you streaming today? Let me announce that. If Jean is streaming at 4 Eastern, she's Music Scrap, and she She does a little everything. Jean used to be afraid. This what Jean would have freaked out. This would have been a freak out Jean 3 years ago. Now Jean is all up in the mixed media. Okay, 4 years. Yeah. So she's music scrap without the A on Ustream. And she uploads to YouTube too. Okay? All right, guys. Bye.